Break in our YouTube channel and welcome back you guys, and today we're gonna have a review on ANVIL. This is a brand new project that caught us with quite interesting levels, gameplay designs and the graphics. So let's take a look on this game. It can be difficult in today's saturated market to find a really good roguelike. These mechanics have permeated so many other genres these days that the words with roguelike elements feature somewhere in the description. So many games it's hard to keep track. But now and then you get a game like ANVIL World Breakers that seems to know exactly what it wants to be and implements those elements almost perfectly. Which is not to say that ANVIL is a perfect game, it's not. There are issues, but in an indie game by a fleeting developer is a fantastic example of something that does exactly what it says it's going to do. Which is not to say that ANVIL is a perfect game, it's not. There are issues, but an indie game by a fledgling developer is a fantastic example of something that does exactly what it says it's going to do. It's set in a distant future after humanity has spread through our galaxy and others. In doing so, we have discovered the world's alien requires filled with vast treasures and technologies. Humans being shifts we are, it's led to intergalactic warfare and untold destruction. The Titan or ANVIL is a deep space agency that creates breakers, remote controlled battlesuits designed to allow safe exploration of alien worlds and the uncovering of worlds. Using a system referred to as Amber, human can pilot breakers from the light years away, enabling relatively safe excursions. When a breaker is destroyed, it retains the combat knowledge it's gained and is able to transmit data of some field upgrade it received. Essentially, this is mumbo-jumbo that adds content to the roguelike setup. As with the best games of its type, ANVIL intends you to fail. In doing so, you'll grow stronger, bringing back relics that can equip you for next round and unlocking ability points to universally upgrade your 12 suits, as well as a currency to unlock, obviously, more. Well, in the world of ANVIL, humanity has the capacity to travel the galaxy and in doing so, as I said before, discovers remnant of alien civilization with they can tear walls, as we said before. They were spread out across the galaxies and other powerful artifacts to those who can find them, but they are well guaranteed by the native fauna of each planet, as well as the powerful guardians that appear from the time to time. Like the warframes in a Warframe, humanity develops powerful suits called breakers in order to fight back against these threats and, as namesake implies, break into the worlds. Those familiar with how hate will play adjust to ANVIL quickly. Not only does it share its asymmetric camera, but also lets player access upgrade modules after clearing out a room, where they can either purchase stat buffs or ability upgrades. ANVIL adds to this formula as well by having some strategies include secondary objectives such as standing in a certain area long enough to activate a turret or killing a specific enemy in order to proceed. It also supports multiplayer co-op, so players don't want always have to fight alone, and having a partner like life on these worlds a lot easier. The breakers are quite fun to experiment as well. ANVIL starts by providing 3 breakers: the Juggle, the Guillotine and the Elsa. Jungler is the solid class build centered around long-range combat area of effect abilities. Guillotine is a melee-based character with the ability to counter enemies and has more damage resistance, and Elsa is a speed and reaction-based character who is less damage resistant but can quickly dodge and summon a worm-like monster to help. Though they will have strength and weakness, it's clear that Beaststruck like the jungler are meant to flesh out of the squad, whereas Elsa was the most versatile and deadly when playing solo. This disparity in a gameplay really stands out, as most of the playtime began to revolve around one of 3 breakers, and even through ANVIL incentivizes player to switch between the breakers for extra bonuses. It never really feels worth the effort. Once players find a breaker they like, the gameplay feels really good, and the combat feels closer to something like Darksiders Genesis rather than a manic bullet hell that requires constant movement. However, the difficulty curve has a sharp insert after the boss fight, which is only the 3rd stage of the first galaxy. Enemies suddenly take and dish out a lot more damage, which makes playing solo a frustrating experience. During is the next stage of development, it will be interesting to see how ANVIL will establish its identity as something greater than the sum of its parts. It's clear that ANVIL is utilizing the best designs and systems from the game mentioned through this review, but it comes at its cost not feeling like it's doing anything new, or at least anything that is uniquely ANVIL. With ANVIL World Breakers promising regular updates, it has plenty of time to become something entirely its own. Some of the loot drops from the enemies, for example, while other items can be purchased with the credits scavenged from the Fallen Native and special kiosks. They are usually found outer boss areas. Gear upgrades are scattered all over the stage, while you can increase your skills in a style similar to one used in Hades. Upgrades to skill might improve cooldowns or add new effects like half regen or damage over time for enemies. While ANVIL World Breakers doesn't have the most unique setup, the game feels is just superb. Special abilities feel widely, the enemy design brings in close to bullet hell levels at the times, and the variety of the location and objectives feels decent, although more will likely be added. Each breaker also feels different, even with the archetypes. While it's certainly designed to be played with friends, you can do it alone, and your choice of break will make a lot of difference. Jungler is great for dropping mines and using his melee attack to hold enemies back, while Shuri can drop a gnome that helps herself and aliens in its radius. The melee-focused breakers feel completely different too. Boasting larger pools of health, they are designed to get back close and personal, and have various combos that depend on how long you hold down the attack stick. A twin-stick shooter with a maple special skills, ANVIL is fast, stylish and satisfying to play. It does have a few issues, however, such as the weird difficulty spike here, and the occasional area that just feels impossible solo. Of course, you can always level up and come back, this is the beauty of it. A consistent timer counts down to brief invasion by harder, machine-based enemies or standard enemies getting a boost damage or survivability. It never poses a huge problem, but adds an element of speed and danger to standing around too long. You want to keep moving, finish your mission with the world and reap the rewards. We've yet to see how the Battle Pass system will fully work. At present, the pre-season it rewards currency, ability points and skins for your breakers. The currency can be used to buy more skins, unlock the breakers, or unlock and equip toy walkers, little AI companions that come with your own missions to buff you. Once the game launches, we'll be able to fully test matchmaking and report on the state of the Battle Pass. At meantime, ANVIL World Breakers is a solid, stylish sci-fi action shooter that doesn't roguelike gameplay right. It presents a stiff challenge that feels fair thanks to balanced progression and enough randomly generated elements to keep each run feeling fresh and interesting. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't you guys forget to comment and subscribe. All the links I will leave in the description so you can find the game, the downloads and interesting stuff to read about. Don't you guys forget to leave the comments to support the developers, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.